Do not be dramatic. You are not Shakespeare. But have you ever stopped to think about how Shakespeare himself used to deal with the tragedies and comedies of daily life? Forget the pedestal. Today we are going to talk about the flesh and blood William, the one who also used to face creative lacks and critiques that cut deeper than a sharp sword. Just image Shakespeare in our days trying to write the tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, while dealing he was with the modern distractions. To be or not to be? It would be easy if it was not for the noise from the Instagram notifications. Who knows, he might even have a blog called Shake's Life Hacks, giving tips on how to write epic monologues while facing blank page syndrome, but certainly not everything is easy. William also received heavy criticisms, not too different from today's haters. Back in the age, trolls doesn't exist on the internet, but the critics were fierce. Picture this guy receiving feedback like, "Your play is good, but it could have less words and more action." I bet that if it was today, he would answer with an ironic meme. And speaking about metaphors, Shakespeare was the master of all, and if he were here perhaps, he would write something like, "My life is a Thursday's drama full of upheavals, but at the end nothing will come out of it anyway." He would know how to translate the most complex emotions of our everyday life in verses that still would make anyone reflect. And what about personal dramas? For sure, Shakespeare also had bad days, and look what he did with them. He turned them into immortal works of art. Who knows? Today's drama will turn into tomorrow's comedy. After all, Shakespeare used to say, "The world is a stage, and we all are ordinary actors." And sometimes we only need Toto improvise a little bit. Shakespeare in our days, a modern bard. Now picture Shakespeare as a movie screenwriter in our days. Would he be in the running for an Oscar with modern adaptations of his classic tragedies? Perhaps Romeo and Juliet was set in the middle of a rivalry between two technology startups, where forbidden love is born between codes and applications. Or who knows, Othello, the Moor of Venice, would be a psychological thriller set in the corporate world, exploring themes of envy and ambition in the fight for a promotion. And we can't forget the social medias. Image Shakespeare's Instagram profile, selfies in packed theaters, stories sharing excerpts from his sonnets and enigmatic tweets that would leave everyone wondering hours. His LinkedIn would be full of recommendations from famous actors, and he probably had a YouTube channel called Tips from the Bard, where he would teach how to transform ordinary dramas into literary masterpieces. However, like all of us, William also would have to deal with modern challenges. Creative blocks, while the deadline is pressing online criticisms that go viral in seconds and the constant pressure for innovation in a world saturated with information. Perhaps he looked for inspiration in hipster coffee shops, jotting down ideas on a moleskin while sipping a craft latte. Or maybe he would participate in writing retreats, unplugging from the digital world to connect with his inner muse. And how about imagining Shakespeare collaborating with contemporary artists? A partnership with popular musicians to turn his sonnets into hits, or writing scripts for streaming series that capture the audience's attention from start to finish. His ability to capture the essence from human condition certainly would become a success in any media that he would choose to explore. Despite the changes from the times, one thing remains constant: the relevance of his works. The themes that Shakespeare explored, love, power, jealousy, ambition, are as relevant today as they were in the 16th century. Maybe that's why, regardless of time or context, we will always find a little of ourselves in his stories. He reminds us that on the big stage of life we all face tragedies and comedies, and that through these experiences we build our own narrative. So, the next time you find yourself in the middle of a personal drama or laughing at an absurd situation, remember old Will. Maybe he was just waiting for someone to transform these ordinary moments into something extraordinary. After all, as he himself could say these days, life is too short not to have a little drama and a good laugh every now and then.